Good afternoon, Excellencies, Ministers and Ambassadors. My name is Don de Tooy, and I'm a Deputy Director General in the Department of Science and Innovation in South Africa. And I have just the huge privilege to be the Program Director for this afternoon. So in the first instance, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our ministers, His Excellency Dr. Blade Nzimande, South Africa's Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, and His Excellency Dr. Abraham Belay Berhe, the Minister for Innovation and Technology and Innovation in Ethiopia. We are also privileged to be joined this afternoon, respectively, by Ethiopia's Ambassador in South Africa, His Excellency Ambassador Mbasho, as well as South Africa's Ambassador in Ethiopia, Ambassador Makaya, and then several other individuals. I will not mention everyone, people who have contributed over the years to the strengthening of this very strategic partnership between South Africa and Ethiopia. Today is indeed an historic occasion. Even if we are physically distanced because of COVID-19, we are further strengthening and deepening the historic partnership between the people of South Africa and Ethiopia through the signing of this Memorandum of Understanding on Science and Innovation. Our program will consist of remarks by the two ministers. Then there will be a virtual signing ceremony. The two ministers will respectively sign at the same moment. And then to conclude, I will invite the two ambassadors to deliver a vote of thanks, because we also feel that this event today is part of the overall strengthening of cooperation between our two countries. So it's now my honor to invite South Africa's Minister, Minister Nzimande, to address us. Minister.
Thank you very much, Dan. His Excellency Dr. Abraham Belay Berhe, Minister of Innovation and Technology in Ethiopia. His Excellency Ambassador Shiferau Teklemariam Menbasho, Ambassador of Ethiopia in South Africa. His Excellency Ambassador Edward Oli Samakaya, Ambassador of South Africa in Ethiopia. Ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed deeply honored and delighted to be part of this historic occasion, which marks the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding on Scientific and Technological Cooperation between South Africa and Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a historic and much valued partner of a democratic South Africa. Ethiopia contributed immensely to South Africa's liberation and the fight against apartheid. Ethiopia has, of course, led over many decades African unity as host of the first Organization of African Unity, and today is the proud host of our African Union. The signing of the MOU is an important milestone for the strengthening of cooperation between our two countries, as we jointly seek to harness science, technology, and innovation as instrument for socio-economic and sustainable development. As the COVID-19 pandemic has shown, international cooperation in science and innovation, especially between African partners, is more critically needed than ever. We, for example, need enhanced intra-African innovation cooperation to leverage the opportunities of the African continental free trade area. I would thus like to express my sincere appreciation to Minister Belay Berhe and our partners in the Ministry of Innovation and Technology for their commitment to our cooperation. The signing of the MOU also comes at a strategic time from a national South African policy perspective. Our Department of Science and Innovation is currently finalizing a new decadal plan for the decade 2020 to 2030 for science and innovation in South Africa at the direction of our. I'm convinced the priorities of our decadal plan will provide an excellent foundation for our two countries to work together as we seek to put science and innovation at work. This includes enhancing the competitiveness of our respective economies and leveraging new African growth opportunities. For example, related to the exploitation of disruptive technologies such as artificial intelligence. It is my wish, Honorable Your Excellency, that one of the areas of cooperation between our countries actually should be on artificial intelligence. It's a matter that I am personally very, very committed to strengthening and developing. This MOU will allow our two countries to share experiences, expertise, and resources so crucial for the advancement of the scientific enterprise and innovation. As investment in people is paramount, we will join training and mobility programs in the development of research and innovation skills in our countries. We will implement joint research and innovation programs and support South African and Ethiopian to bring new technology products and services to the market through joint ventures. South Africa is indeed proud and privileged to be partnering with Ethiopia. Ethiopia, as we call it in many of those who are Zulu speaking, we call it Ethiopia, and affectionately so. And we look forward to the fostering relations and renowned Ethiopian with renowned scientific organizations in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Biotechnology Institute, the Technology and Innovation Institute, the Ethiopian Geospatial Information, and the Ethiopian Space Science and Technology Institute. As much as the signing, Your Excellency, of the MOU is an important, it is imperative now spare no effort to progress with implementation. I'm sure that Minister will join me in this encouragement and indeed instruction to our officials that no effort should be spared in investing to advance our cooperation. In conclusion, I'm very delighted that the Ethiopian ambassador in South Africa and the South African ambassador in Ethiopia have joined us today to witness our commitment to science diplomacy, also as an instrument for closer political, economic, and social links between our countries. I might as well say, Your Excellency, that in December next year, 2022, for the first time, Africa will be hosting the World Science Forum, which we'll be hosting in Cape Town. And I hope that Ethiopia will be one of the countries to actually be part of that, to attend physically or to attend virtually, depending on what the situation would be at that time. So I am using this opportunity to also offer an invitation to Ethiopia to join us and attending the World Science Forum in Cape Town in December 2022. South Africa and Ethiopia have always stood together in a commitment to global solidarity, multilateralism, and African unity. We reinforced that commitment today. Thank you very much, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Minister Nzimande, for those remarks. And indeed, I think as officials, we have certainly taken note of the instruction to work concertedly to advance this very important cooperation. It's now my honor to invite to the floor His Excellency Minister Abraham Belay Berhe for his remarks. Minister, the floor is yours. Colleagues in Addis Ababa, I think the minister's microphone is muted.
Thank you so much, Excellency Dr. Blade Nzimande, Minister of the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Innovation of the South Africa. Your Excellency Ambassador Makaya, South African Ambassador in Ethiopia. Your Excellency Ambassador Shifara, Ethiopian Ambassador in South Africa. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm excited to be here with you to sign another milestone memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Innovation and Technology of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Innovation of the Republic of South Africa in the field of science and technology cooperation at the special day of the eve of Ethiopian New Year 2014. That has a magic to turn everyone at least 7 years younger. For your information, to those of you who might not get chance to know, our country, Ethiopia, celebrates its own new year on the 11th of September. And our calendar counts year 2014, which is 7 years earlier than the Gregorian calendar 2021. First and foremost, as a minister, Ministry of Innovation and Technology, and as a board chairman of the Ethiopian Electric Power, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency President Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Sudan, South Africa, for his unwavering efforts and commitment for assisting Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan in finding a long-term and sustainable solution related to GERD issues in his capacity and terms as a chairperson of the African Union Commission. Ethiopia and South Africa are sisterly African nations with profound historical ties and friendship that spans many years, including during the long struggle for independence and equality against colonialism and the apartheid. At all times, wisdom and brotherhood collaboration has always been their shared, enriching, cordial exchange that strengthened and cemented the relations for a number of years, now maintaining the very spirit of friendship and historical ties between the two nations. It's my highest belief that this memorandum of understanding will be instrumental to further deepen and create a wider bilateral cooperation platform in the field of innovation, technology, and science. Today, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate our two respective countries' science, technology, and innovation practitioners for their dream comes true in the signing of this memorandum of understanding in a greater phase of its fast and smooth expedite of it to bolster collaborations in the field of science, technology, and innovation. Science, technology, and innovation is one of the most powerful and potential collaboration areas for the two sisterly countries, Ethiopia and South Africa. That in many forms, especially my country, has a lot to learn and catch up with on the South African best practices in a regional hub development for attracting a number of global tech players with meaningful contributions for social and economic development of both South Africa and the region. South Africa's excellent best practices in the implementation of the science, technology, and innovation, like that you have said, Excellency Minister, in artificial intelligence and other areas like biotechnology, space, optical and radio astronomy, startup support and funding, establishment of research foundations, as well as implementation of research outputs into the market is a real opportunity ended to learn deep from, as our country is prepared to finalize the review of the national STI policy this time. This memorandum of understanding will further galvanize and rescope the existing relations between different Ethiopian institutes that you have highlighted already, the Ethiopian Space Science Institute, the Ethiopian Biotech Institute, and other institutes, and the South African institutes and universities, bringing and advancing wider opportunity of extended and rewarding adventure here to meet mutual social, economic, and political objectives. This memorandum of understanding, as it puts a technical leadership in a form of joint technical committee from both Ethiopia and South Africa, shall swiftly move to the formulation of strategic implementation tools, rounding out joint aspirations as country to see continuation of our joint efforts for building a long-term and strategic partnership between our two ministries. In this regard, I would like to assure you of the Ministry of Innovation and Technology earnest desire and utmost commitment to the effective implementation of this memorandum of understanding. And in the upcoming weeks and months, I cannot wait to express its active implementation and requesting on this special signing occasion to consider fast tracking of the STI policy review efforts under my ministry. And hereby, I instruct the ministry team to take appropriate measures to ensure our policy review efforts have a South African best practice put into consideration, already setting this MOU into action and establishing a fresh milestone towards the successful implementation of this important instrument. And I wish you all good health, happiness, and success. Thank you so much, and we will accept your invitation to come and join the World Science Forum as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Minister Belay Berhe, for that very inspiring remarks, for identifying a rich portfolio of possible cooperation opportunities, and again, Ethiopia's commitment to this partnership. It's much appreciated. And I think it augurs very well for this cooperation that we are signing on the eve of the Ethiopian New Year. Honorable Ministers, it's now my privilege to invite you, Minister Nzimande and Minister Belay Berhe, to proceed towards signing the Memorandum of Understanding. The ministers all have a copy. Normally we would be doing this together, but the ministers will sign respectively, and then we will exchange through diplomatic channels, through the good offices of the two ambassadors, the actual physical documents.
This is a Happy New Year signature to the Ethiopian people. Dan, do we write the date here or we leave it blank?
We can write the date, Minister. That's fine.
Okay. Latin and blank. I should say.
And perhaps if I could invite all the participants in the meeting just to put your cameras briefly on, because we will take a photo, as is the practice these days, a digital photo of everyone for this historic occasion. So if colleagues could just please turn on their cameras.
I want to do a background.
And then I think if the signature is concluded, we can probably also unmute ourselves and just have a round of applause. I think this is well merited.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and a Happy New Year.
Thank
Minister.
You.
Great gift. New Year gift for Ethiopia from South Africa. That's nice.
Yes.
I think it's important for me just to acknowledge Professor Mamamuchi, who's one of a leading scholar from Ethiopia, but has been contributing to academia and science in South Africa over many, many years as one of our research chairs based at the Tshwane University of Technology. And he's been a champion for this cooperation. So Professor Muchi, also our appreciation for your contribution. And thank you to both of our ministers for the proceeding with the signature. And we are now committed to this very strategic partnership. Honorable Ministers, colleagues, to conclude our program, as both ministers have stressed, this signing forms part of the overall relationship between our two countries. And I am now going to invite, firstly, His Excellency Ambassador Srifaram Nshabo, Ethiopian Ambassador in South Africa, for some concluding remarks and a vote of thanks. Ambassador, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dan. I'm very much privileged today by having our honorable distinguished ministers from both sides, Minister Nzimande as well as Minister Dr. Abraham. It's unusual to get such kind of, as the Minister rightly said, a gift at the eve of the new year for our cause. So we will never be in a position to forget this memorandum of understanding. And I thank you, all of you who made all kind of big efforts, including Professor Mamu has already indicated, who was also the genesis, part of the genesis of this initiative. Excellencies, I would like to say just only a few words because our principals said it, so there is no any need to repeat what have been already said. Probably the first and foremost, probably the quickest action point of establishing our joint committee, as already stressed, and also having a proper plan of action, as already stressed, will help us to move forward so that we may not be repeating to the addition of one of the MOUs to the piles which probably have the difficulties of being implemented. So I think that this, I'd like to mention at this juncture, when our Prime Minister visited officially the Republic of South Africa last year, January 2020, it was a historical, of course, official and historical visit that underpinned the various areas of cooperation and collaboration, and science and technology was one of those. And in fact, Minister Nzimande, you may remember during the cabinet briefing, one of the issues, including the UNISA related issues, were raised, and I would like to say last week the Vice President and the Chancellor also visited Ethiopia, and they met with our Minister of Higher Science and Higher Education, where with what you call Moshe in short, Minister of Science and Higher Education, which really creates a momentum in terms of bringing ourselves toward this joint agreement and undertaking. I would like also to mention we have in South Africa what we call the Ethiopian Professionals and Academicians Association. We call it IPASA in short, where Professor Mamu is also a board chair. So we have like an expert team that are already organized on this side, which has also a very great link where the University of Science and Technology all over can very easily start with the University of One as well. So it's one University of Technology as well. Otherwise, since this was an experience by its own, at the COVID era, we can do more. So COVID-19 can never be an excuse for whatever we would like to achieve. Then again, thank you everyone who brought their hands together. Also our ministers who made their time to be with us. Again, I'm sure we will be, myself, Ambassador Mackay and myself, we will be now taking the lead as the assignments were forwarded to us. Thank you so much, and back to you, Dan.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you very much, Ambassador, not only for your presence and support, but indeed your constant availability to engage with us in the department and for being the champion for South Africa-Ethiopian relations. Honorable Ministers, I'm now going to invite His Excellency Ambassador Makaya, South Africa's Ambassador in Addis Ababa, to address us. Ambassador.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's nice seeing you after a while. I remember when I was the Deputy Director General for Africa in the Foreign Ministry, we used to work closely with you on the issues of science and technology. So we are pleased then to see you presiding over this important ceremony. Honorable Ministers, Dr. Belay and Dr. Nzimande, my dear colleague, Ambassador Shefrao, senior officials from both countries that are here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. We have just witnessed the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding on Scientific and Technological Cooperation between the Republics of South Africa and Ethiopia. The objectives of this Memorandum of Understanding have been articulated so well by the honorable ministers. I don't have to repeat them. All we need to do now is just to acknowledge the strategic importance of science and technology in our developmental goals, particularly in the face of challenges presented by COVID-19. We do look forward to the implementation of this important MOU. Both ministers did emphasize correctly the need for our officials to leave no stone unturned, to roll up their sleeves, to implement this MOU. Probably the first step that needs to be done in that regard would be to work towards the establishment of the joint committee between the two ministries. The benefits of this MOU to our two countries will never be realized unless the MOU is fully implemented. Honorable ministers, it bears mentioning that the signing of this MOU brings to 15 the number of legal instruments that have been signed between the two sister republics. This is a clear demonstration of our collective desire to deepen and consolidate the existing historical ties that so happily exist between our two countries and peoples. We look forward to the finalization of all the outstanding agreements. Chief among those is an agreement on the strategic partnership between the two countries. In this regard, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the two honorable ministers for their leadership to realize this important day. Of course, we did expect this occasion because the two ministers, part of their competencies is innovation. Today, we are signing this MOU through a virtual platform. Congratulations, honorable ministers. I also want to thank my colleague, Ambassador Shefara, for his efforts towards strengthening the bilateral relations between South Africa and Ethiopia. I also want to thank the senior officials of the two countries for all their efforts to realize this day. Considering that tomorrow, Ethiopia celebrates a new year, it is apt, therefore, Honorable Minister Nzimande, that on behalf of your delegation, I take this opportunity to wish the government and the people of Ethiopia a very happy new year, 2014. They are 7 years younger than all of us. We wish this ancient and important country peace, stability, and prosperity. Just to buttress what Minister Nzimande said in his remarks when he tried to recall the history that binds the two countries, may the historical ties and bonds between Ethiopia and South Africa, which began in early 1960s when former President Mandela visited this country. And this is a country where former President Mandela received his military training. In his own book, Long Walk to Freedom, former President Mandela describes correctly Ethiopia as the birthplace of African nationalism. It's a country that he says had a special meaning in his own imagination. So therefore, honorable ministers, today, I believe you are working hard to realize and connect with that history. As South Africa, will always be very grateful to those countries, including Ethiopia, who stood by the peoples of South Africa in the fight against apartheid. May our two countries continue to prosper. I thank you for all, I thank you all for your participation in this important ceremony. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That's certainly a most fitting and a most appropriate and a most inspiring set of remarks to conclude the proceedings. Honourable Ministers, colleagues, all that remains for me is to again to thank both ministers for their time, the time of the ambassadors, and indeed everyone who participated. Specific word of thanks to the colleagues, the officials in the departments who prepared this event, and I think then on behalf of the officials to reassure the ministers that we have taken note of the instruction. We will rapidly proceed with the implementation, including the establishment of the joint committee, and then again to our partners in Ethiopia, everything of the best for the new year, and may we all continue to stay safe, and best wishes to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.